Learning to track my cycle has been one of the biggest upgrades of my entire life. It has helped me tune in with my body's needs, show up more fully in my relationship, and harness the power that's just inherent in the female body. When we don't have a deep understanding of our bodies, sometimes it can feel like she's working against us. I like to think of it as a wave. So if we don't know what's coming, it can knock us over. But if we see it coming, we can prepare for it and we can ride it. And that's how I want every woman to feel in their body, just enjoying this hormonal wave and all the magic that comes with each phase of our cycle. So I love pattern recognition, and that's really what cycle tracking is all about. I can show you how I track my cycle, but it's really between you and her. Everyone shows up differently. It's about getting to know and getting intimate with what your body's needs are and how she responds to her environment. So I really encourage every woman to spend at least 3 months religiously tracking your cycle, finding her flow. And then when you start to learn her rhythm, you can begin to work with it, but you need to understand her first. No one is going to teach you this. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to advocate on her behalf. It's our responsibility to take ownership of understanding our bodies and speaking up for them. A lot of women have a hard time connecting with their bleed because they've been taught to suck it up and get on with it. And we never really get this opportunity to connect deeply with this part of us. On average, a woman bleeds for about 7 years of her life. And so it's really important that you be able to get intimate with her and learn her needs and learn her desires. And really, it comes down to creating space for your bleed time. Like, try not to plan too much, try not to work too hard. Just like let whatever wants to move through you during that time move through you and allow it to be organic and natural and learn what her needs are. But you need to know when she's coming, right? I'm at a point now where I revolve everything around my cycle. My cycle does not accommodate my life. My life accommodates my cycle because she comes first. She is my internal clock. She is my rhythm. And when she is aligned, I am aligned. But in order to do this, we need to understand our cycle. So, like, planned my wedding around my ovulation and I plan my holidays in between my bleed time so that I'm not, bleeding while on a plane going 5,000 miles an hour because I've been there and it's not fun and I don't want to do it again. And so learning how to accommodate for our bodies. So a lot of women use cycle tracking apps and I really wanted to start tracking my cycle alongside the moon and I couldn't find it, so I just made my own. I also found out recently that many cycle tracking apps sell our data to advertising companies like Meta, which target us based on where we're at in our cycle. And I just like to have autonomy and sovereignty over my life and my body. And so this felt more aligned for me. Anyways, so I created my own cycle tracking spreadsheet. And I also like that I can customize it to my liking and what I look for. So let's dive in. Okay, so I use this both on my phone and on my computer. And kind of how I like to do it is I fill it in every day on my phone. Usually, when I'm sitting on the toilet, I just take a few minutes to like check in with myself and I'll fill it in on my phone. And then every couple months, I'll come to my laptop and I'll open it up and I'll look at it from a wide angle and just see what my patterns are, see what consistencies I have. Yeah, so I've basically been tracking since 2023, and this is what it used to look like. And it's evolved quite a bit since. But back in 2023, I was having like 40-day cycles, which was super irregular. I didn't bleed for 6 months. So it's just starting to come back, and I was really on top of it and trying to figure out what was wrong with my hormones and just, super motivated. So sometimes it takes having a health crisis and hormone crisis to get into it, but I encourage like every woman to do this, even if their cycle is super consistent, just so you start to get to know the deeper nuances of it because it's really intricate. So then in 2024, I started taking my basal body temperature and I would graph it. And then I started tracking with the moon phases as well. So in the cycle tracker, I have moon phases. But at this point, I was kind of tracking the day, the cycle number, my temperature, how much sleep I got that night, because my sleep was also really fucked up for a little while there. What phase the moon was in, what my pussy juices were, like my sex drive, my skin, and any symptoms or notes that I had. And then that progressed, and this is 2025, and I added more. So I started tracking my smell, my hair, my digestion, my emotions, if there were any stories from the day, any insights that I received as well, which I really liked. And then I also started doing homework for life, which is just writing down a little story from the day. Just to get used to storytelling and just like capturing little moments of your life in a really beautiful way. Anyways, I wasn't super consistent with that, but I would also, use different highlights to show when I was ovulating and when I was bleeding. And again, I loved to graph my temperatures. So I wasn't super consistent about with my temperatures in 2025. I've started being more consistent in 2026 now. I did March and I did April. But yeah, my cycle has become a lot more regular. So what you're going to do is you're going to open the Temple of Her cycle tracker that's in the link below. And then you are just going to go file, make a copy at the top. And you'll make a copy and then you'll name it. And then it'll be saved into your Google Drive folder. And then you can edit it as you like. So this one starts in 2026. And so it's all of 2026. Obviously, you won't be able to fill in the first half if you're watching this now, but start in August. And the moon, new moon, and full moon are already highlighted there. So you just start by putting in your cycle number. If you take your temperature, you can also like edit these. If you don't take your temperature and you're not interested in taking your temperature, you can just go and delete that column, or you can change it to something else. And there's all these different things that we can track in ourselves. So my recommendation would be like track where the moon is, track your cycle number, track your pussy juices. I like to track my smell and my sex drive because they're always communicating with me. Our pheromones are so powerful. Digestion is another big one. Emotions are another big one. Energy levels. So track what feels right to you. But I notice so many patterns in how I move through my cycle. When I get constipated, it's usually 3 days before my bleed. And so I eat more fiber rich foods and I eat a lot of kiwis and it helps move things along. And I tend to get really lubricated pussy juices 5 days before I ovulate. When my hormones were still pretty imbalanced, it would be like 5 days before I bleed, I always get a pimple on my chin, and so there's all these signals that our body is giving us. So make a copy of the cycle tracker. Let me know if you want to learn how to chart your temperatures, because that's a whole another piece, but I'll add another video in here. But yeah, just honestly, just enjoy getting to know your body and becoming intimate with your body and learning her language, because she speaks in whispers and in pulses and in little, little secrets. So just start to learn how to read her.